is the Commission on Human Rights Family, headed by its chairperson, Loretta Ann Rosales. Ma'am, if you have a presentation, you may proceed. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairperson, the proposed 2014 budget right now amounts to 326,923,000 pesos. The fiscal year 2013 enacted budget is 298,188,000 pesos. Hindi na muna ako mag-elaborate masyado, but the point that I am trying to underscore here is the new laws that we have actually passed do not yet have a budget. The Anti-Enforced Disappearance Act in the law says that 10 million pesos must be added. Wala yan dito sa budget na pinipresenta namin. No? There are other new laws. Do you have a copy of the other laws? The compensation law, you're aware of that, di ba? It's, the funding is nice and comfortable. So once we are able to push for that, that's fine. There's no problem there. The other laws, the Magna Carta of Women, the Anti-Torture Act, 9745, there used to be 10 million pesos dun sa Anti-Torture Act. Inalis yan ngayon eh. Inalis siya. And what this means is that the anti-torture law, 10 million pesos, we use that for much of the time outside of training, visitorial, assistance to visitorial, yung visits to the detentions, to the provincial jails, to the custodial centers of the Philippine National Police. Commission on Human Rights must have money to be able to go to the custodial centers and to give training to the Philippine National Police and so on and so forth. 10 million pesos yun, inalis yun sa amin.
Earlier, you mentioned the 10 million that was removed from your budget.
Anti-torture yun.
Where did they place it? They just removed it. It was cut from your budget. So your budget from last year to this year was cut from...
Yung 10 million, yung anti-torture particularly, we used to enjoy that. And as I said, ang focus diyan, training the police, yung military, at saka bumibisita. Because, you remember it came out in CNN na maraming nangyayari, mga foreigners, kung ano nang nangyayari sa kanila. Right away, when we found out about it, bumisita kami. And pinayagan naman kami. I mean, may mali dun sa media. So, magpunta kami. Pero doon ko nakita yung kahalagahan ng pagde-develop ng monitoring system. Ang isang kinukuhan din namin, inaapila namin sa Kongreso, yung conflict areas, yun yung, doon kami yun sa mga conflict areas. Ang regions namin, doon sa conflict areas, nasaan yung conflict areas? Region, Caraga, Taganito, mining, no? Tapos, NPA, malakas ang NPA diyan. Malakas ang IDP riyan. Pinupuntahan, ang aming region na yan, kulang na kulang sa personnel. Pero, hotbed ito ng conflict. Tapos, mga IPs, 80% practically of recruits ng rebel forces nanggagaling sa mga IPs. Dito, marami yung mga IPs, so inaalagaan namin sila. Kailangan namin ma-fill up itong positions na ito. Ito ang problem namin sa DBM. Kailangan namin ma-fill up itong mga positions na ito. Halimbawa, ang lawyer namin dito, konkreto isa lang, kailangan namin ng 5. So, 4 pa. Ang investigators namin dito, 2, kailangan namin ng 6 para maging 8. Tapos information officers, 2, kailangan namin ng 4 para maging 6. So 14 yung kailangan naming i-fill up. I'm just talking about one regional area. Ang hinihingi sana namin, mabigyan kami ng mas maluwag na pagkakataon para ma-fill up namin itong positions na ito. The crux of the problem, and Senator Cheese knows this very well eh. Yung bang fiscal autonomy namin na hindi binanggit kasi sa saligang batas. At dahil hindi binanggit doon, hindi kami kinikilala na may fiscal autonomy. Dahil nga hindi binanggit. Bagamat, sa administrative code ni the late President Cory, nakabanggit yan, tsaka si Senator Frank Drilon, nakabanggit yan. Sa charter bill namin, pag naipasa na ito, nakabanggit yan, very explicit. Pag kami fiscal autonomy kami, may kakayahan kami na magpasya ng sarili namin para buuin ang mga regional offices namin para mas mahusay kaming makatutok dun sa conflict areas na kung saan ang daming IDPs, ang daming mga katutubo, ang daming mga problema. At saka yung mga, andyan yung rebelde na lumalaban. If it's just possible, yung bang unfilled positions, medyo maibalik lamang para mas mabilis naming ma-fill up yung positions na yun. Kasi the bureaucracy is, I think,
Are you finished, ma'am? Maybe inquire, ma'am, how many positions are unfilled and how much would it be equivalent to?
okay, unfilled positions, the necessity is 130 lawyers, 13 lawyers,
130?
141 unfilled positions. Breakdown, filled up lawyers 75, vacant 38. Sa investigators, ang filled up 130, ang vacant 28.
Ma'am, total unfilled positions.
Ang total unfilled positions 141. Ito.
And the
I'll just
budget
put
is not
this.
provided for that?
Hindi, nakakunyan. It's part of na Oo,
It's
nilagay yun dun sa
MPPF.
mutual.
Pag nag-hire
oo.
kayo, i-release po yan.
Oh, and then of course, it takes such a slow process of doing that. Now, we've been doing it naman. It's not as if we've not been doing it. Iniisa-isa namin to. Ngayon, ang tanong ko lang, perhaps in the light of, these rapid developments, tapos, kailangan namin ng mas ngipin para kumilos, para i-fill up namin to. In the emergency situation that's going on right now, tapos the new laws that have been passed, baka naman pwede na itong unfilled positions na ito, mas maluwag na ibigay sa amin para mabilis naming ma-fill up
I
yung
think it's a matter of
positions
procedure, ma'am, but even the Office of the Ombudsman, which by constitutional provision has autonomy, goes through that same process also. We will coordinate with the DBMM and relay your concerns with respect to the procedure and process for releasing the same. But we join, I guess, in theory and in concept, the DBM in releasing these funds only upon the actual hiring. You have to understand, ma'am, in the past, kinukuha ng mga ahensya yan, particularly, lumalabag dyan talaga, DND, DepEd, at PNP. Now, you give them the money to hire these people, they don't actually hire. It constitutes savings, and they spend it for some other purpose. So on the part of DBM, even of Congress, you would want it spent for the purpose for which it was allotted, which is to hire. But we will try to facilitate, ma'am, the procedure for its release.
Over a year ago, I suggested that we make a study. I don't know if some of your staff remembers that you make a study in the possibility of placing the PAO under the HCHR, the Public Attorney's Office. Merge it or place it under the CHR. Have you done so? Has a study been done to that effect? If not, can you please do that? And for all you know, it could be for the best. I pointed out during that time why I was proposing. I think it was during the hearings of some PNP torture investigation in the 15th Congress. That's how I remember it. So please consider that.
Kindly make the submission, ma'am.
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
Mr. Chairman, this is something to do with the COA audit report of the CHR. Apparently, you have balances amounting to 6.7 million for for the families of victims of involuntary disappearance, and they remain unliquidated as of December 31, 2011. You also have unliquidated 1 million for Section 5.8 of the COA circular. I don't understand this, but anyway. And then, merong, okay, ayun, tama, overstated. And then 2.4 million failure of management to reconcile difference of 958 between books and submitted report of the physical counts of inventories. Then 71 million was unreliable due to the failure of management to reclassify the unserviceable PPE to other assets account and dispose these assets, and failure to reconcile the difference between etc. etc. There are about 3, 4, 5 other items to this effect. Total of 9. Okay, yes, a total of 9. Now, they remain unliquidated. What is the status of these, especially the ones with the big amounts?
At the grand total that remains is 248,087 pesos and 34 in terms of cash advances, unliquidated, yung ganun. For the fine, ano ito?
The fine liquidated 4 million already. They have
Oh, yung fine liquidated 4 million. So they still have a balance of 2.4 million. Ito yung find yung desaparecidos. Oo,
Ma'am, that's as per your records or COA report?
records namin.
Your records.
Records namin. Now,
Anong ibig po sabihin nito, Mr. Chairman? Tapos na COA dito? This is an official report already of COA? O hindi pa?
Not yet. The COA report for 2012, malamang nag-exit conference pa lang kayo. It will be submitted to us in time for our plenary debates.
Okay.
Usually it's submitted sometime October to early November.
may I just appeal that you can consider the new laws, at least 9745 is anti-torture law. Kung pwede lang, kasi mabigat talaga yung detention na mga binibisita namin, yung training and so on. Tapos pangalawa, yung Anti-Enforced Disappearance Act. No, both in accordance with law, 20 million.
Noted, ma'am. Ma'am, just two questions. One, kamusta yung Board of Claims sa Marcos compensation? Nabuo na ba o hindi pa?
As far as the CHR is concerned, with the help that we are doing, buo na.
So may na-appoint na si Pangulong Aquino?
Yan ang inaantay natin.
Hindi pa buo.
Ay, oh, yun na nga. Well, as far as we are, cause I'm looking at it from the point of view of CHR, no? Nakita na yung options kung eto ang kukunin. But siya na lamang ang inaantay
So
natin.
how many, again, ma'am, refresh my memory, how many should the President appoint?
He should appoint a total of 9, 1 chair and 8 members, but 3 lawyers. No,
I remember now.
To head
Ni
the
isa, ma'am, wala pa?
he's supposed to give the announcement of everyone, no? Yung total na yon.
We gave a 2-year window for the board to wind up its job, but for the 2-year period to start, correct me if I'm wrong, upon the composition of the board.
Yes, of course.
So hindi pa nagsisimula yung 2 years pero may lumipas na mag-iisang taon mula
Yun
nung
na
pinasa
nga,
natin.
yun na nga, and I'm worried about that. I have actually spoken to former Congressman Edsel, who is willing, at saka si Congressman Erin, na tumulong na rin doon sa, since they are authors, IRR, so that by the time that the compensation board is announced by the President, at least meron ng draft na makakatulong
For the board
sa
to
kanila.
approve.
For the board to approve.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more point. Can you help our office, ma'am? We're trying to shepherd a bill on anti-stereotyping. Yung pag may nahuling kriminal na Muslim, sasabihin, si ganto, he is a Muslim, mascot, blah, blah, blah. Pero hindi naman sinasabi pag Kristiyano o saksi. And even with respect to movies or broadcasts, just in general, an anti-stereotyping measure.
Certainly, definitely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. If you have no further questions, Mr. Chairman, I move that we consider the budget of the Commission on Human Rights deemed submitted for plenary, subject to the documents that Senator Legarda wanted to have also, part of the explanations of the COA report. Thank you.
As moved by Senator Soto, there being no objections, subject to the conditions and submissions, the same is hereby approved. The budget of the Commission on Human Rights is submitted to plenary for its consideration and approval. Congratulations, ma'am, and good afternoon.